Hey everyone, Garfum here with an update on the Season 5 4-man meta. So, there's been a lot going on during the first week of the new season. Everybody's trying out new builds, new group compositions, and we're finally seeing some new 4-man compositions rise to the top and a couple that are competing with each other. So that's what I want to talk about today. So, before the season even started, a lot of the top tier players already knew what 4-man composition they were going to be running, so many players went into this season trying to gear up and get ready for this 4-man meta, which included a support barb for pulling in mobs, spawning health globes, and providing buffs, a wizard for dealing AoE damage with Energy Twister, a demon hunter for providing single target damage with Impale, and a witch doctor for picking up the barbarian's health globes and providing further buffs. Now, about a day into the season, a new composition was found on the Asia servers by some non-seasonal players that pushed a Greater Rift 100 with a new comp that replaced the Impale Demon Hunter with a support monk. Now, at the time that this video is being made, this is currently the top 4-man clear, but there are other setups people have been testing out that are coming very close to this setup, such as support Demon Hunters being thrown in there, or support Crusaders being thrown in there. So there are other setups that will be doing pretty much the exact same efficiency for speed Greater Rifts, and then the only difference is really going to be coming down to the highest clears. Now, let's talk about some of the general 4-player gameplay for these setups. Today, I'm only going to be focusing on the setups that involve 1 wizard DPS and 3 supports. If you're interested in the Impale setup that runs wizard, Impale, and 2 supports, I might be making a video on that in the future, I'm not sure yet. If you guys really want it, let me know in the comments and I'll definitely make a video for that. But today we're going to be focusing on just 1 wizard and 3 supports. Here's how this group comp is going to work together. 2 of the supports are going to go in to group up the mobs, and once they have high enough density group, they're pretty much going to set up there for a little bit. The 2 supports are going to sit in the middle of the mobs, spam attacking them with high attack speed and AoE skills to start spawning health globes. The 3rd support is going to be picking up those health globes to help fuel the wizard's arcane, and the wizard of course will put slow time down over all those mobs and start spamming Energy Twister as much as possible. And once the density gets too low, the group will move on, bringing any yellow or blue packs with them to another high density area to group up the mobs again. And it's very important that the group moves on in search of higher density, because they need the high density to spawn health globes fast, and they need to spawn health globes fast enough to keep fueling the wizard. And while all of that's going on, all the supports bring a bunch of different skills that either buff the party or apply a debuff to the mobs. So while they're grouping things up and killing them, they're also keeping all those buffs up as much as possible. That's the basic gameplay behind 1 wizard and 3 supports, but there's also an extra mechanic regarding the wizard's Energy Twister that you want to take into account when running this setup. Normally the Energy Twisters move about in a random path and they just go wherever they feel like it all over the screen. However, when an Energy Twister hits a certain spot on a wall, something interesting happens, and the fact that the Energy Twister will get stuck in that spot on the wall and just spin there for its entire duration. With this in mind, if you can get Energy Twisters purposefully stuck on walls, you can bring the mobs to the Energy Twister and you'll deal significantly higher DPS because, like I said, normally the Energy Twisters follow their own random path anywhere, which means they could be hitting no mobs at all or very few mobs while they're moving about. Or they could even go outside of the slow time, and when Energy Twisters are outside of the slow time, they basically deal no damage. So as an example, imagine this scenario. You have a bunch of mobs grouped up in the center of a room, but with no walls nearby. You spawn Energy Twisters in the center of the mobs, and within a second, or even less, the Energy Twister moves its way off to the side and is no longer hitting mobs. So within a second or so, that Energy Twister is no longer dealing damage and is now useless to you. But if you were to group the mobs up against a wall in sort of a semicircle, and you were able to get the Energy Twister stuck against the wall in a couple of places that hits those mobs, those tornadoes will be doing the full damage the entire time, killing those mobs much faster, and you get much more use out of each Energy Twister. And as my last point here, this trick can also be used against the Rift Guardian, and for greater rifts 80 or higher, it's basically required. So to do this, what you guys are going to want to do is aggro the Rift Guardian, and then have you and all of your party members run away from it and go stand in a small room or in the corner of a room, and the Rift Guardian will either teleport or walk to you guys and then be on top of you in that corner. Once he's in that corner, the supports will stay there and try to maintain aggro so he stays in the corner. The wizard will walk out and shoot energy twisters into the corner, so all the energy twisters stack on top of him and kill him really fast. This is so much faster than trying to kill him out in the open. And any greater rifts that are 85 or higher that you try to kill a greater rift guardian out in the open, you will basically fail every single time unless you're insanely lucky or something. So make sure to take advantage of this trick. That's all for today, guys. I will try to make detailed guides on some of these builds, but I can't promise a guide on every build that was mentioned. So let me know in the comments which builds you want to see guides on the most, and I'll try and make those happen. And if you enjoyed the video today, guys, or learned a little something, I'd really appreciate a like. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe for more guides. Thanks for watching, everyone. Good luck this season, and as always, have an awesome day.